here when the projectile is projected from this point O, we call this point O as point of projection, and theta is called angle of projection. OX is the x-axis, OY is a y-axis, and V0 is initial velocity. Now, here when the body moves from O to P gradually as it goes up, the velocity of the body changes. Which velocity is going to change? As we discussed earlier, V0 cos theta is V0 cos theta here. When the particle reaches point P, the horizontal component of velocity remains as V0 cos theta. Why? Because as there is no acceleration in horizontal direction for a projectile, horizontal velocity never changes. When the particle reaches this point, in this trajectory, this is the highest point. So, here also the horizontal component of velocity remains as V0 cos theta. Somewhere here the horizontal velocity is V0 cos theta. Even when it comes to this point also, this is V0 cos theta. So, here the horizontal component of velocity of a projectile never changes throughout its path. Reason being, the acceleration along x-axis for the projectile is 0. A along x-axis is 0 for a projectile. But what about the vertical component of velocity? Initially it was V0 sin theta. So, after reaching this point P, at this point, the initial velocity along vertical direction is V0 sin theta. This will be Vy, that is velocity along y-axis after some time. And this will be here, this will be 0. So, velocity along y-axis in this case at the maximum point, maximum height is 0. Now, once again this will be Vy dash. So, this Vy double dash, but it is found that we know that the velocity with which the body projectile upwards is equal to velocity with which it strikes the ground. Both the horizontal velocity remains as V0 cos theta, even the vertical velocity remains as V0 sin theta. Why? Because the resultant velocity here also V0 only. So, here velocity V0, here also velocity of striking the ground is V0. Now, how to find the maximum height reached by this body or this projectile in this case? So, this is the maximum height in this case. So, let me take this as point O, this is point P. So, let me take this as point A, let me take this point B is the point at which the projectile is striking the ground. Now, I need to find the H max in this case, that is maximum height reached by the projectile. So, for a projectile, I am going to find out the maximum height, which we denote as H max. So, what is the maximum height reached by projectile? The vertical displacement, this is the starting from this point reaching this point. So, this is the vertical displacement. The vertical displacement of a projectile before its vertical component of velocity becomes 0. So, before its velocity, as it goes up, velocity in the vertical direction gradually decreases, and somewhere here it will become 0. So, that point is known as maximum height, and this is nothing but the vertical displacement. So, the vertical displacement of a projectile before its vertical component of velocity, before its vertical component of velocity becomes 0. Is known as maximum height. So, to find out that maximum height, I need to find out the vertical displacement in vertical direction. So for this I need to write the data which is known to us in vertical direction. So in vertical direction, what are the known values? That is nothing but along y-axis. Here, initial velocity is v naught sine theta, and the vertical displacement is this one, h max. And when the body is going up, you know that acceleration is downwards and acceleration is negative. So acceleration is minus g. And then what is the acceleration, displacement, initial velocity? And the next one is in this case known value is final velocity or vertical velocity component. The final component of vertical velocity, already I have taken this as vertical direction. So final velocity along y direction is 0. Now you see this one, I know initial velocity, final velocity, displacement and acceleration. So what is the expression that can be used to link all these quantities? So what I am going to use, from v square minus v naught square is equal to 2ax. So you may have a doubt, sir, this was used only for the motion along a straight line. Why you are using this for motion 2 dimension? Here I am considering the vertical motion only. I am not considering the horizontal motion, only one direction. So I can use this one. Now what is the final velocity here? 0 square. What is the initial velocity in this case? This is v naught sine theta. V naught sine theta whole square is equal to. So this is 2. What is a here? A is equal to minus g. What is displacement here? Displacement, this is not along x axis, this is along y axis, which I have to write as h max. Now this can be simplified as minus v naught square sine square theta is equal minus 2g in h max. You can cancel this minus and minus. So cancel this minus and minus. I need this h max, bring this one this side. So the maximum height reached by a projectile is given by v naught square sine square theta by 2g. So this is the expression. Already we derived a similar equation for a straight line motion. That means if the body is projected vertically upwards along y axis directly, single motion, the maximum height there was v naught square by 2g. But this is v naught square sine square theta by 2g. Why? Because here theta is not 90. Suppose in this equation, for the same equation, if you keep theta 90, sine 90 is 1, sine square 90 is also 1. So this equation will become v naught square by 3. That means here this theta is equal to 90 degrees. That's why we cannot use those equations which were used in motion in a straight line for this one. Here theta should not be equal to 90. So use this expression only for h max, that is maximum height reached by a projectile is given by v naught square sine square theta by 2g. So maximum height depends on the initial velocity and the angle of projection. G and 2 are constant. So h max depends on v naught square and the square of the sine angle of projection. Next topic, time of flight. The time taken by a projectile to reach the same horizontal plane of projection is known as a time of flight. What is this horizontal plane of projection? You see this diagram. If the projectile is projected from this point O, this is the point of projection, and as it moves along this parabolic path, and it will be in air for some time, after that it will reach here. Let us say if it is thrown from ground, it will reach the ground only. Then what we can say, the time taken by a projectile to reach the ground from point of projection. Here also from point of projection is known as time of flight. So, in this case, when the body is moving along this curved path, that we call it as a parabolic path now, so it will reach this point, it will reach the ground. If the body projects from ground, it will reach ground. Suppose if you take one building here, tall building, if you throw a projectile from the top of the building, it will reach, and this is the ground level. So, if you define this equation as the time taken by a projectile to reach the ground, then it will be wrong. Why? Because here this is the point of projection. I need to draw a horizontal plane here. This is the horizontal plane of projection. This is the point of projection, and if you draw a line here, this is horizontal projection. So, in this case, the time of flight is not the total time taken by this projectile to reach the ground. So, from O to A, B and C. So, it is moving along this trajectory OA, B, C. So, in this case, the time taken by the projectile to reach B only the time of flight. The time taken by the projectile to reach B. That's it. So, how to define this one? This body is going to cross or reach the same horizontal plane. Here, this line, that is x-axis, can be considered as horizontal plane of projection. So, how to find the time of flight here? In this case, if you observe this one, it's going up and then coming down. So, while along x-axis while going up, displacement is OA, that is along OA, and then A to B. So, it is going up and coming down. So, what is the net displacement in its total journey? In this diagram, the net displacement will be 0. Why? Because while going up, we have to consider displacement as positive. While coming down, we have to consider the displacement as negative. So, here let me take in y direction only. In vertical direction, so what are the known quantities? Initial velocity of this projectile is v naught sin theta. Remember, this is vertical direction. Acceleration is negative. Acceleration A is equal to minus g. The net displacement in this case, net displacement is, it is going up and coming down. While going up, displacement, if you take it as positive, while coming down, if you take negative, the net displacement will be 0. So, here y will be 0. And what is the time taken to reach that point B? That is a horizontal plane of projection. Time, this I call it as time of flight, that I am going to find. Now, you see this one, velocity initial, acceleration, displacement, time. So, that from that equation, x is equal to v naught t plus half a t square. Here x is this 0, that is displacement from O to B. From O to B, net displacement along y-axis is 0. So, displacement is 0. Initial velocity v naught sin theta, time is equal to capital T plus half into A is equal to minus g. So, directly let me take this as minus g into t square. So, this minus this is 0, that means these two must be equal. So, bring this one this side, half g t square is equal v naught sin theta into t. Cancel t and t. I need this t. So, t is equal to v naught sin theta by g. So, this is the time of flight of a projectile. For a vertically thrown body, 2 v naught by g. For a projectile, this is 2 v naught sin theta by g. That means, in that case, it depends only on the initial velocity. Here, it depends on initial velocity of projection and also angle of projection. So, this is the time of flight. Next one, time of ascent of a projectile. What is time of ascent? The time taken by a body to reach the maximum height from ground. For a motion along a straight line for one dimensional motion. But for projectile, the time taken by a body, here body is projectile, time taken by a projectile to reach maximum height, not from ground, we have to call this as point of projection. From point of projection is known as time of ascent. So, to find out this time of ascent, this is also along y axis only. So, let me write the data along y axis. The initial velocity is v naught sin theta. The final velocity, I am considering the motion from O to A only, because this is the time taken by the projectile to reach the ground along this path only. So, I am considering from O to A. So, this is from O to A along y axis. So, the final velocity is 0, and acceleration in this case is given by a is equal to minus g, and the time of ascent, I will denote this as TA question mark. So, which is the expression that can be used to link all these four? So, we can write V is equal V naught plus AT, the final velocity is 0. So, I am substituting this in this equation. The initial velocity was V naught sin theta minus A is equal to G into TA. If minus GTA comes this side, plus GTA is equal to V naught sin theta, and the time of ascent of a projectile is V naught sin theta by G. This is the time of ascent. Now, what is the time of descent in this case? The time taken by projectile from maximum height to reach the horizontal plane of projection is called time of descent. Here, time of descent, time taken by a projectile to reach a horizontal plane of projection from maximum height is called time of descent. That means time taken by this one to reach this point P from A. So, in this case, what are the known values? Here, let me take the initial velocity, we do not know. We can say that the displacement is h max. Displacement is h max. And the time taken we are finding, that is time of descent. So, time of descent is equal to TD is equal to, that is question mark. Now, when the body reaches here in the vertical direction, from O to A the final velocity was 0, from A to B the initial velocity is 0. So, in this case only the initial velocity in this case is 0, and the acceleration now A is equal to plus G. In the downward direction acceleration is positive. Now, the same expression what we have used so far, x is equal to V naught t plus half A t square. From this equation, if you substitute the values, the displacement is h max, the initial velocity is 0 into time of descent plus half into g into td square. So, this will be 0. So, this will come here. This is 2 h max by g is equal td square. So, time of descent is given by root over 2 h max by g. So, this is the expression for time of descent. But time of ascent was V naught sin theta by g. Just now we proved time of ascent as V naught sine theta by g. Time of descent we obtain V h max by g. But we know h max value which is equal to V naught square sine square theta by 2g. If you substitute that value here, you can write this is 2 by g, h max is equal to V naught square sine square theta by 2g under root. 2 and 2 get cancelled. This is V naught sine square theta by g into g square. So time of descent is also equal to V naught sine theta by g. So time of ascent and time of descent are same for a projectile also. All these expressions are similar to the expressions that we derived in case of a vertically thrown up body. Only variation is there, the theta was 90, here theta may be any value between 0 to 90. So this is the only variation. Once again, the time of flight can also be written as Ta plus Td. Ta V naught sin theta by g, Td V naught sin by g, Ta V naught sin by g. We can write V naught sin theta by g plus V naught sin theta by g. So time of flight is 2V sin theta by g. You can remember this formula like this also. Next topic, range of a projectile. What is this range? You can see we found the time taken by this body to reach the maximum height from the point of projection, that we call it as time of ascent. From maximum height to plane of projection, that is time of descent. And the vertical displacement before its final velocity becomes 0, that is h max. And one more quantity is there, that is the horizontal displacement of the body from O to B. This horizontal displacement in time of flight, what is the time taken by this body to reach this point B, that we call it as time of ascent plus time of descent, that is time of flight. So here this is called range. Range is the horizontal displacement of the body. So we are defining this, the horizontal displacement of a projectile during time of flight. So in how much time? During this time of flight, when it is in flight, it will cover some horizontal displacement. This horizontal displacement in this diagram OB is called range. So that means in all other cases we consider the vertical motion. Now for range I need to consider the horizontal motion. So in horizontal motion, so what are the known values? That is the initial velocity of this projectile along x-axis, that is in the horizontal motion means along x-axis. So this is a V naught cos theta. So this, let me take it as V naught cos theta. What is the acceleration along x-axis, along horizontal direction? We know Ax is 0. Why? Already told you, that's why I am not arranging this one. This projectile motion is influenced only by the gravity. That is, only gravitational force is acting on that body. All other forces are negligible or should not be considered. Then only we call it as a projectile. So as there is no force in x direction, acceleration in x direction is 0 for any projectile. Now, so here let me take the acceleration as 0. Then what is the time taken by this projectile to reach B from O? So that we call it as time of flight, which is given by T. So what is the range that we are finding? Range is nothing but the horizontal displacement. So R, range R is question mark. That means nothing but this is a horizontal displacement. So what is the equation that connects all these four? That equation is given by x is equal to, once again, from x is equal to V naught t plus half a t square. Here the horizontal displacement, now we are calling it as range. So R is equal, what is V naught? That is horizontal velocity initially. It is V naught cos theta in this case. What is the time taken by this projectile to reach that point B from O? So this I call it as capital T plus half into 0 into t square. Actually that term is not at all required because 0 into anything is 0. So we can neglect that second term in this equation. So now r is equal to v naught cos theta into what is the time of flight for a projectile, that we have to substitute here, which is 2 v naught sin theta by g. So this is the range of projectile. Now we can simplify this as, here we have one v naught here, one more v naught here. So v naught square, the remaining terms are 2 sin theta cos theta by g. So the range of projectile, you can see here, this range of projectile is v naught square by g into something. So what is this 2 sin theta into cos theta? In trigonometry you might have learned about this one. 2 sin theta cos theta is equal to sin 2 theta. Therefore the range of the projectile is v naught square by g, and this is sin 2 theta. So this is a sin 2 theta. This is the range of the projectile. So range of projectile depends on dash, the square of the initial velocity and double the angle of projection of the sine. That means sine angle of the double the angle of projection. These are the two factors that changes or that depends on r value. We know that the range of projectile is given by r is equal to v naught square sin 2 theta by g. Now, if you take this diagram, here the range is OB. Now, if theta 1 is given as theta, r1 is given by v naught square sin 2 theta by g. That means this theta 1 is theta. Suppose if the same body projected with the same velocity v naught at some other angle here, and here this angle is 90 minus theta. So what will be the range for the second angle of projection? That means if theta 2 is equal 90 minus theta, then what will be the range? Range is given by the velocity of projection is as it is v naught sin 2 into 90 minus theta by g. So this can be written as r2 is equal to v naught square sin 2 into 90 180, 2 into theta 2 theta by g. We know that sin 180 minus 2 theta is also sin 2 theta, and in the second quadrant the sin value is positive. So we can write r2 is equal v naught square sin 2 theta by g. You can see these two expressions. Here r1 is equal to v naught square by g for this angle of projection, and for this angle of projection also r2 is similar to r1. That means r1 is equal to r2 for two different angles of projections. Remember, this is possible only if the sum of these two angles is equal to 90. That means if the first angle is 30, if the second angle is 90 minus 30, then this sum of these two will be 90 only. If it is theta, if it is 90 minus theta, so theta 1 plus theta 2 is equal. Theta plus 90 minus theta 3 cancel, this will become 90 degrees. We call them as complementary angles. So for complementary angles of projection, range of projectile is same. For complementary angles of projection, that is for theta and 90 minus theta, theta and 90 minus theta, range will be same. Ranges are equal. We know that range r is equal to v naught square sine 2 theta by g, and we know that for complementary angles of projection, ranges will be equal. Now, if a body is projected with the initial velocity 30 meter per second at an angle 30 degrees and 60 degrees with horizontal. Find a range in two cases. Find ranges in two cases, in these two cases, 30 and 60. The first one, let me write here. In general, they will ask you to take small g as a 10 meter per second square. Now, range formula v naught square sine 2 theta by g. This is the formula. Here, range in the first case is given by v naught square sine 2 theta by g. V naught square is 30 square, initial velocity is given as 30, sine 2 into 30 degrees by g, where g is equal to 10. So, this can be written as 30 square is 900, sine 2 into 30 is sine 60, which we can write root 3 by 2 into 10. These two get cancelled, 2 1s to 2 45s. So, range in the first case is 45 root 3 meters. Now, in the second case, when the angle is 60 degrees, what is R2? So, this is also 30 square sine 2 into 60 degrees by g10. This is 900 by 10. What is this value? Sine 120. This is sine 120 degrees. These two get cancelled. This is 90 into sine 120. 120 is in second quadrant. That is sine 180 minus 60. Sine 180 minus 60. So, 90 into sine 60 will be root 3 by 2. Once again, the answer is 45 root 3. In the first case, R1 was 45 root 3. In the second case also, it was 45 root 3. That means, for complementary angles of projection, that is 30 and 60, ranges will be equal. Now, if I want to show this graphically or in the with the help of the diagram, so what I can draw? How we can draw this diagram here? As the range is 45 root 3, I can draw the diagram like this. If it is y-axis, if it is x-axis. Now, if the projectile is projected at an angle 30 here, this is 30 degrees with velocity. So, let us say this is range. So, here I got this as 45 root 3. So, this is the projection of this body at an angle 30 degrees with velocity 30. Now, if the same body is projected such that the angle of projection here is 60 degrees, now the range will be same. That means, there is no change in the range of these projectiles. But you can see this, the maximum heights are different here. This is H1 and this is H2, but this is R1 and the R2 also equal to 45 root 3. So, in both cases, the angles are different. The initial velocity is same as 30 and 30, but the heights are different, but the ranges are equal. Even if you see, if the angle, the projectile is thrown such that it is thrown at an angle 12 degrees, let us say this is only 12 degrees. Now, if the other angle of projection is 90 minus 12, that is 78, then also the maximum heights will be different, but the ranges will be same. That means, for any complementary angles, let us say the first one is, it should not be 90. Let us say if it is theta 1 is this one, theta is this one. For 1 degree and 89 degrees, range will be same. For 2 degrees and 88 degrees, range will be same. For 3 degrees and 87 degrees, range will be same. That means, the sum of these two must be equal to 90. So, if two angles are added and if they yields 90 degrees, then these are known as complementary angles. For complementary angles of projection, range is always equal. If it is x degrees, it should be 90 minus x degrees range. This is R1, R2, R3 and this is Rx. Now, in any question, if it is given that the ranges are equal for two angles of projection, if one of the angle is 23 degrees, what is the other angle to have the same range? So, this must be equal to 90 minus 23, that is 67 degrees. So, this is how you can give the answer for this one.